would like to call this meeting to order. The Election Commission, today July 8th, and the time is 5:05 p.m. I would like to ask the clerk to please do the roll call.
Ms. Ireland?
Present.
Mr. Lehman?
Here.
Mr. Treadwell is excused absence today. Ms. Nelson?
Here.
Ms. Torkelson is absent at the moment. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I think you've had time to look at the minutes for previous meetings. Have you had time? Would you like more time?
No.
I move to approve.
I second.
All right, Lauren has moved to approve and Elaine seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Announce the arrival. Glynis,
Yep.
just announce the arrival.
And
Ms. Torkelson arrived at 5:06 p.m. Do you want to do each set of minutes, or was that motion for all 4 sets of minutes?
I'd be happy for it to be an omnibus, all four, if there's no objection.
I agree.
Good, and I might add, very good job on the minutes. They're just very clean, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving on to old business.
you say none.
No old business, correct?
Madam Clerk, would you please present the first reject code?
Sure. The first reject code today is the ballot return envelope empty or contained other materials. In your work session, I presented you with the 2 ballot return envelope with empty or other materials.
I move to accept the election team's recommendation of the rejection of the 2 ballots under the reject code E.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Elaine seconds. All right. Commissioner Lehman moved and Elaine seconded.
Is there any objections to rejecting the 2 ballot return envelopes that were empty or contained other materials?
No.
No?
Okay, hearing none, I think the motion passes.
Yeah.
The next rejection code is on the second side of your worksheet. It's rejection code W. These are the ballots that were postmarked after Election Day. There were 34 of those to be rejected, and again, I showed you those rejected ballots in the work session.
I move to accept the election team's recommendation to reject 34 ballots that were postmarked after Election Day, which is June 21, 2022.
Do I have a second?
Reject code W.
Lisa Torkelson, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
If you do it that way, you better ask for it. Any opposed?
Yeah. Any opposed? All in favor? Okay.
The motion passes. Commission, the next reject code before you is that includes rejected ballots is reject code Z. This code is used if it's determined that the voter did not sign the ballot return envelope or the required voter declaration. In the work session, there were 9 of these. One voter did come in between the work session and this meeting and cured their envelope, and so there are now 8 of these ballots being rejected.
I move to accept the election team's recommendation to reject now 8 ballots under reject code Z.
And I second.
Do we need a second?
I second,
Elaine seconds. So Lauren made the motion, Elaine seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it passes unanimously.
Commission, the next rejection code before you is Z1. This is no signature match on the ballot return envelope. There are 33 envelopes to be rejected with the non-matching signatures.
I move to accept the election team's recommendation that 33 ballots be rejected under reject code Z1 for reasons stated.
Lisa second.
Elaine second.
Lisa.
Lisa.
All in favor? Yeah?
Aye.
Aye.
All approved? Passes unanimously then.
Thank you. The next rejection code before you is Z2, no reference signature. This code is used if there is no digital reference signature in the state of Alaska voter registration database. There is one of these. The voter was sent a cure letter and provided an opportunity to cure that by providing their ID.
I move to accept the election team recommendation that under reject code Z2, 1 ballot be rejected.
I second.
Second,
I
Elaine
second.
second, so Lauren moved, Elaine seconded. Are we all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Motion passes.
The next reject code before you is ballot voted by someone other than the voter. This is reject code 3. There were 2 of these ballots. I showed these to you in the work session. These 2 voters, one was not a registered voter and voted someone else's ballot, and the other person may have recently moved into the residence but was registered to vote elsewhere.
Madam Chair, this reject code concerns me probably the most of any of these, and I move to accept the election team's recommendation that the 2 ballots under reject code 3 be discarded. Rejected.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Lisa.
Lisa seconds. Do I have any objections?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Lauren.
While we're discussing the ballots voted by someone other than the voter, are these ballots ones that you would like to have referred to the municipal prosecutor?
I was going to suggest that at least somebody receive a reprimand or whatever they conclude is appropriate, but I would at least want to do that. I think this is really important, so that would be my recommendation.
Through the chair, commissioners, the clerk's office prepares the reject letters. Technically, the letters are from the clerk's office, but they're because of the commission's rejections. This letter does say that this is a violation of the law and may be referred to the prosecutor. We could add a sentence, something to the effect that it says the election commission is extremely concerned about voting someone else's ballot and recommends that you go to a vote center if you wish to vote, confirm your eligibility before you vote someone else's ballot. If you would like, we could include a strongly worded statement like that in the letter.
Right. if you could put something in there, said the election commission is very concerned about election integrity, and actions like this, we believe, violate that integrity. And then just, you can, you know.
Okay, got it. Okay, are you ready for the next? Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next rejection code is rejection code 10. These are previous election ballot envelopes received, and they are previous elections ballots inside of those envelopes. There were 17 of these.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the election team recommendation to reject 17 ballots under reject code 10.
Have a second? Second. Lisa seconds. We all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, I.
Then that passes.
Thank you. And Commission, the last rejection code before you is rejection code 11. This is other. The ballot included in this one was an X signature where it appeared that the voter wrote their name and return address in the return address portion of the envelope. The voter did not sign the voter declaration. It appeared that the witness put an X in the voter declaration line and then witnessed the ballot. And that was again showed to you in the work session.
Just before I make the motion, I'm curious, I should have asked in the work session, why wasn't that listed under reject code 3? It seems like it, am I not seeing it as being substantially equivalent?
Through the chair, Mr. Lehman, I think those are very, very close. The difference is in reject code 3, those voters signed their name on someone else's ballot. In this case, it was an X. And so I don't think we could come to that conclusion.
Okay, yeah. All right, I move to accept the election team recommendation that the one ballot under the other category, reject code of 11, be rejected.
I second.
Elaine seconds. So Lauren made the motion. Elaine seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Okay. If we can move on, Madam Chair, to the next item, which is adoption of the election canvass report, we can make a motion to adopt the election canvass report. It is prepared, and then we can sign it, and then in the event that we don't get anything else in the mail through Tuesday to be rejected, we could potentially not have need to hold a meeting on Tuesday if that works for the commission. Otherwise, we can do a motion to continue the meeting until Tuesday the 12th at 2 p.m. and then we could come back and do the report at that point.
The meeting on Tuesday is limited. We recognize that there's this little awkward thing here where you've really done your work for the election, and the only task that you have to do between now and the deadline is noon on Tuesday for people with military and overseas. If there are none of those ballots, there's no reason for you to meet. So because that agenda is so limited to that one topic, we think that you could finish today, and then if something comes in, then we would need you to come in if we need to reject any of those ballots. If they come in and we can count them, we still don't need you.
I suggest that we pass or we adopt the canvassing report today, contingent upon there not being an issue, and if there is, then do an amendment.
Okay. Okay.
Is that a motion?
So-
I won't be able to be here Tuesday, and I'm here, spent several hours
Yep.
doing it. I just soon know that I've done my work. I mean, I can call it by phone, but okay.
Okay.
Was that a motion?
Yeah. You need a motion?
Well, what we're going to do right now is take a recess, and I'll prepare it, and then we can make the motion.
Yeah, it'll just be a very short recess. It's just
It's
ready. to
done.
be
I just
printed.
need to change one number and then have somebody else print it. I'm gonna have one
Oh,
on Amy's computer.
can I do it?
Nope, I'll do it on Amy's computer.
Okay.
For the winner of this election, is it Voland or Volland?
I'm sorry, I don't
You
know.
don't know?
Yeah.
There was a judge several years ago. I assume it's his father.
I don't think so.
Hmm?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I talked to him, and I think he took over the eye doctor. He's an eye doctor, the Bill Faulkner.
The one that won this?
I think it was, no. Was that him, the Boland? I think it was.
Well, I don't
I
know
gotta
if he's
think-
an eye doctor or a dentist, but he is a doctor.
He's an eye doctor.
Oh.
Because he took over Bill Faulkner that used to be on the
So,
assembly
okay, so
place.
I thought that person who ran is an attorney.
No.
No,
Okay. Okay, so he's a. you
Judge
think-
Boland, no.
Okay. I
Phil
well,
Phil,
I guess
yeah.
it could
No.
be as well.
No, he doesn't have kids. They
Oh,
don't
the
have
other
kids.
judge.
Yeah, this judge,
But
Judge Boland.
Judge Boland?
He doesn't, because
Oh.
he's married to Maury Long,
They,
the one that I know.
oh, they
Oh,
live,
so you
they
know-
live in,
I know
yeah.
Maury.
They
Yeah,
live in
and I know-
West End.
Okay.
I know Phil
Right.
also, yeah,
Yeah,
but.
okay.
But I
This
don't
is the
know
eye
if it's
doctor.
their kid. I know that he and Maury, I don't have children,
They
but
don't.
I don't know if he has other children.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I've known Maury for a long time. But
Well,
this is the eye doctor. yeah.
normally, if I see two L's, I would say Volland, and one L would be Volland. But
I agree, yeah.
the people have the right to pronounce their names the way they want.
This is America after all.
He's really a nice person.
Do you know how it's pronounced? His
No,
doctor? Oh,
he just
okay.
came by the door and
Yeah.
I gave him an earful.
How old is he?
Young.
Yeah.
He's probably
30?
40s, maybe. It's hard to tell ages, but between 30 and 40, I would think. He's young, yeah. So,
He would probably like that if he's between 30 and 40 and you said he's young.
yeah, it is young to us, some of us. Yeah, really young. But no, he is. But I don't know how long he's been in this. Lives over in Couldn't get. I see him coming for coffee.
I'm going to make this motion. I at least want to look at it.
Okay, we call the special meeting back to order, please. And it's 5:25.
There was something I thought about in between that I wanted to add as this commentary. And it came up during our meeting. I'm thinking of it right now. like last time we expressed concern about what was reported to be a paucity of ballots in the Sand Lake area, and it turns out that I'm not sure that was correct information. But if it were, then it's a concern, you know, concern about postal delivery, you know. But there was something that was said earlier today, and I just thought about adding a comment in. I'm sorry, I'm just zoning out on that right now. But, well, I may think of it before we close. It was senior moment.
You'll think we'll learn to ride back home.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, then, do I have a motion to approve the election canvass report of the June 21, 2022 special municipal election?
I so move.
Elaine moves. May I have a second? Lisa seconds. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll? And
Sure. Ms. Torkelson, your vote? Aye. Ms. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Lehman?
Yes.
Ms. Ireland?
yes.
I now remember.
Motion carries.
I now remember what it was, and it was essentially this: there's evidence that with two elections, a state election and a municipal election, somewhat concurrent, that there was some voter confusion. That we, the election commission, believe the election team did a good job at informing voters and taking action, while we don't have the same information available to us about the state. We assume they did as well, but this is a unique situation that probably isn't going to happen again. But as being aware of it, we probably just need to be vigilant about information. That voters, you know, voters will still get confused when there's things. But anyway, that's essentially what I thought might be. It's maybe the one thing, the zinger that comes out of this, kind of like that last time. But I don't think it would result in action by the assembly. And I mean, assembly has to meet certain deadlines for filling vacancies, and so does the state. So it happened. Something like that, if you just, you know, say a conceptual, you can word it a little bit maybe artfully, more artful than I spoke it. Something like that, just a sentence or two.
Through the chair, would you like to make a motion to amend the election commission report to make a statement? And I have it written down that the evidence shows that with 2 elections concurrent, there was some voter confusion, but the elections team did a good job informing voters and taking action to reduce the confusion. Okay?
And yeah, and maybe we should just avoid saying anything about the state, because we really, our venue is this. Yeah. And I don't want to suggest that the state didn't do good things. There are some really incredible people working in the state elections, and I'm sure they did a fine job. I move to amend the report just to add that commentary on voter confusion.
And I second.
Elaine Nelson seconds. Laura moved and Elaine seconded.
Did you want to vote on it?
Yeah. Can we take a vote on that
Yeah.
recommendation?
I
Passes unanimously.
Great, thank you.
Take a short recess. Yes, sign.
That's a good idea. Give them they will call.
Oh, yeah.
Cover
We do.
the advertising.
Sure.
for-
These are good people here, but they're good people at the state working hard to do good things. And I remember Andrew Staley said one time a lot made me so mad about what they suggested. I called them up. Gave them through some,
Good for you.
well, election workers, incense, suggesting that somehow that they include would not count ballots correctly.
And I just, anybody that tells me that, I said, you come down here and you live at the state, this is, you sit there, there is no way there is anything wrong. I mean, we are doing our job, and I need something. I just burn because when you look at the polls, I'm not going to do it this year. Well, I'm not going to be chairperson. I might go around. Because I do enjoy that. Will you work all year round? I hope to. Okay.
All depends on the number of boats in the water. And we'll do a couple of shipyard, there's always a shipyard. There's a hotel ship. There's a hotel ship. And this year, they're just painted on some kind of ship. Things to do. It's just busy work.
That's hard.
It's really hard.
Not busy.
Just doing something just to do it drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah. You have to be productive.
So does it make it work virtually?
Either that or go into the ship.
I think that maximum, I think it's nobody in the office. Yeah, I feel
Your issues, we make one.
Trust me, is
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I'm
I would-
usually in the office.
that would at least is easier.
Do you find it?
Yeah.
Can they do that?
Oh, yeah.
I have pizza house with me. But my family prefers me in the home.
Yeah, of course. The kids will put you
Oh,
there.
that's good.
So there's some, right, and the other adult in the home wants another adult in the home. So there's some like tension there. Like,
So you can read it and sign it.
I do feel like over the past 2 years, I've been able to get a lot more productive. Sometimes more productive than a lot of this, and sometimes I'm more productive.
I think I could.
If they want.
If I had.
So, right, and this is, it's
And I'm
like the same setup, whether I'm,
Yeah, it really is because they're never.
Yeah, it's a 6-month
right, I have
probation.
all the same access, all the same speeds, except, well, this is also across the board, I just hate check. I just hate, it's just crashing on me all the time, whether I'm home or at the office, it doesn't, I just, but I just ignore it.
Oh, okay. Blue. Yeah.
Something kind of ignore
Yeah, so I was taught, you know, that that's work with your payments. Then, and then said, we have to then you didn't.
Right, and I don't litigate a ton in the cases I have litigated, even against per se. So, I haven't done like attorney's fees or anything. So,
That's right, so when I was working with ACDA,
yeah. Some rates are a little different. So, I'm waiting for someone to come down hard on this, but you can't just.
the other part of it is some
Yeah? Yeah. Right? Or getting yeah, people are going to get elsewhere or get out of monitoring that I can come with them to in a separate category. So it's pretty flexible, but I'm kind of lazy at this point. I don't know. I have a desk at home, so it's.
Do we have any member comments at this time?
Yeah, but because I'm one of the people that's dropping by
Yeah.
offices to ask questions.
Yeah.
I think more so than.
So, we are asking you to take another motion, a motion that moves to approve the report as amended. And the reason is because we approved it and then we made an amendment. And typically you make a motion and then you amend the motion and then you approve it or approve both. So, if we just had another motion to approve the election canvas report as amended, I think that will cover our bases.
I move that we approve the Election Commission report as amended.
Do you have a second for that, please? Lisa, second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So, that carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now can we have the member comments, please? Anybody? Lisa?
I'll just share a comment. I told Jamie at a break time. I thought that Jamie just did an unusually good job of presenting information clearly. She was well prepared, and it made it easy for us to follow and do our job. So I just want to say thanks.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank each one of you, and Barbara and Jamie as well, for the great job and for being here and for your support. We appreciate it. Great. Thank you.
I agree.
Anybody in the audience? Anybody else?
Ghost people. Like, remember those ghost markings on ballots? Isn't that what you call them? There's some terms.
Stray marks?
Well, the ones that you can't see when you scan, but you go back and look and they're like pencil marks. But I thought there was a term we used for it.
Make it up. Engineers are good at making these words up.
Ghost marks.
So did we want to adjourn till Tuesday?
I think what you wanted to do was adjourn
Recess? Or
adjourn contingent.
I think you want a motion to continue the meeting contingent on receiving any military and overseas envelopes to be rejected.
yeah, that need action.
Yes.
Yeah. If they just receive a ballot and they're all fine, you just count them, they go into totals and
Okay, so you make a motion then?
yeah, I move that the Election Commission continue contingent upon receiving military and overseas ballots between now and Tuesday at noon
Yeah.
that require commission action on any rejection.
Do you have a second?
I second.
Elaine, seconds. All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Elaine? Laura? Yes. Thank you.
Okay?
All right, and I think you can call this meeting adjourned.
Yep.